Hi there and welcome to Sky Blue Sunday with me, your host Rob. Unfortunately the other Rob couldn't make it today because of a couple of connection issues. We did try it but it just wasn't working. He kept getting kicked from the conversation and phone call. So I've decided that it would be best to do the commentary by myself and hopefully get it sorted for next week. One thing that I'm going to do for Rob is I'm going to give him my old gaming headset so that there's no background noise, and it means that we can record through Skype, which is a program that most of you guys will know that you can record conversations from with pretty good quality. So let's get down to it. The show's about the past events that have happened at Coventry City over the past week. And as you guys know, the transfer window is now closed. It closed on, I believe, Thursday or Friday evening. And there's also been an international break where one of the Sky Blues players was supposed to feature but unfortunately couldn't do so. So that player that was supposed to feature was Sammy Klingen, our defensive midfielder and captain. He was picked for the Northern Ireland squad to play on Saturday and to play on Tuesday. Unfortunately had to pull out due to illness. It was an undisclosed illness, so nobody quite knows what it was. Hopefully it was just a stomach bug or something, and the people in the Northern Ireland staff are hoping that he will be back for Tuesday's game, which obviously means it shouldn't affect Coventry City in their fight to do well in the Championship. So the good thing is Sammy Klingen will play. Gail Bigaramana was selected as a backup for the under-19 England team. I don't believe he managed to get in the actual team itself, but it's still good to see that a couple of our players are getting into the international side of things and that they are good enough to do so. So as you guys know, the transfer window closed on Thursday or Friday night, and the one big person to leave the club was Ben Turner. He's gone to Cardiff, which is fairly good news for them. They've got him for a steal. It was believed to be about £700,000. The deal was originally to have John Parkin, but for us to have John Parkin and do it in a switch trade, as well as the £700,000, but unfortunately we couldn't come to an agreement with John Parkin because the main reason why was a wage difference and a wage issue. What we tried to do with Cardiff was for Cardiff to pay £4,000 of his wages and us to pay the majority £5,000 of his wages. But of course, if you're selling the player, you don't want to still keep paying his wages. So Cardiff said no, and the deal went through for just Ben Turner to go over to them. Turner was actually looking to go to Birmingham, I believe, but has said that he'll enjoy his time at Cardiff and has thanked the Coventry City fans and in particular Andy Thorne for all of the things that we have done for him. So as I say, we were supposed to get John Parkin. The deal fell through, so we're not going to get him. But we did get Cody McDonald from Norwich City, who is a really good player. He's got some good skills. He's a striker, which is one of the things that we definitely needed at the club. And when I think about it, Ben Turner was probably the best person to go for the least amount of damage to the club. As you'll know, our defenders, we've got a strong defence with a lot of cover, so it wasn't really a big deal for Ben Turner to have left the club, apart from the fact that he was a brilliant player. But we have got Richard Keogh, Martin Craney, Chris Hussey, and one of the new boys that's come up from the youth, Cyrus Christie, who are all on pretty good form. And so far our defence has actually done really well. We've only conceded one goal in every game that that team and that quadruplet that have played in there. So hopefully that'll be a good starting point to go from. And having Cody McDonald in, who's a quick player, he's got some skill about him. If there's a video online on YouTube that shows the goals that he's scored, I'll link it in the description if I can find it. And he's got some skill about him. He's got some really good tactics, and he's got a good game in head on him. So hopefully he'll do a good job for us, score a couple of goals, and he'll work well with Lukas Jukovic. The one thing about John Parkin is I don't think he really would work well with Lukas Jukovic, because they're too similar again. It's the same old story of Freddie Eastwood and Roy O'Donovan. They're two the same. They like holding the ball up, but they're not really proven goal scorers, whereas I believe Cody McDonald is. So hopefully he'll do really well for us, and we'll see how it goes. So Scott Dan, who's not a player at Cov but used to be and has some ties to the club still, has moved to Blackburn Rovers for what is believed to be between £6 and £8 million. So the ties that he has got with us is he came from us and went to Birmingham, and we attached a sell-on clause of 10%. So if I believe it only counts for the profit, but I may be wrong. So for example, we sold him for £3.5 to £4 million, and they've bought him for £6 to £8 million. So when you think about it, there's if you go bottom estimates, there's £2.5 million difference. So that means we get £250,000. Now it's not a lot, but when you're getting money for a player that's being sold on, that's not even part of your club anymore, that's a great deal. It's £250,000, and that's a good deal for us. I mean, it's almost paid for Cody McDonald's transfer money anyway, so because we were believed to have paid around 300 to 500k, which is a fairly good price. It's similar to what we were going to pay for Adam Lefondre, and if I'm being honest, I kind of think Cody McDonald can live up to what Lefondre was expected to live up to. But obviously we haven't got to get too overzealous with it, because if he doesn't score, then the fans shouldn't get on his back straight away. Give the kid some time. He's quite young. I believe he's 24, 25. He's still got a couple of years of his best years ahead of him. So if he doesn't score within the first 2 or 3 games, then I ask most Cov fans to, or all Cov fans should I say, not to give him a hard time, because he's learning his trade, he's proving in League 2, and it's a step up to the Championship. I personally believe he can make that step up to the Championship, but it remains to be seen how long it will take for him to do so. So we've signed him on for a 3-year undisclosed fee, but as I say, believed to be around £350,000 to £500,000. So another team that came in were Leeds to try and buy Sammy Clingan, who was supposed to have offered £700,000 to us plus Billy Painter for Sammy Clingan. I don't think that would have gone through. It might have gone through had we not got the money from Ben Turner and Scott Dan, but Sisu have said that was the main reason why they didn't sell anyone else, because of the fact that money came in and could give Coventry City a bit of a transfer budget heading into the loan market. So the one good thing is we've kept Sammy Clingan, we've kept the likes of Lukas Jukovic, and if we'd have lost those two, it could have been a massive problem for Coventry City to have replaced them and hopefully push on up in the table and stay clear of relegation, of course. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about was loans and what's going to happen during the loan window. So I was thinking maybe of getting of a couple of people for us to maybe keep our eyes on. One of which is being thrown around just by myself, just out of the blue, that I don't really think we'll get, but it might be worth a try, and that is Sammy Amiobi. He scored a really good goal against Scunthorpe, took it round a couple of players and showed some real premise and pace, and I think he's got a lot of skill and could do well in the Championship. Whether somebody like us, Coventry City, would get him or not, or whether there will be higher teams in the league looking for him and better teams that would have more appeal to him, I'm not sure. I would have thought there will be, and I can see him playing in the Championship by the time the transfer window is over. Another guy I was thinking of was Mama Biram Diouf from Manchester United. and he's got some really good skill as well. He's similar to Sammy Amiobi in the fact that he's got pace, knows where the goal is, and can score a good couple of goals. So if we hadn't have got McDonald, then maybe that would have been an option, but if I'm being honest, I think that we should get a good winger, and one of the names that has been mentioned is Michael Kitely of Wolves. I believe he is a winger and could do a good job for us depending on where he played. I mean, Carl Baker's our winger at the minute, and on the other side is Gail Bigaramana, and I see them both as decent passing players, but the problem with them is they haven't got that much pace. It tends to come from the full-backs of Chris Hussey and Cyrus Christie, where we get down the wings and show our width within the team. So getting somebody like Michael Kitely or a similar winger with a bit of pace might be a good idea for us. And the last person that has been linked with us is Sylvan Ebanks-Blake, who I believe was to have been injured in the last game that he played in, so I'm not really sure what the outcome of that is, whether he's still fit or whether it's a more underlying problem, but we'll see what happens. And I guess the one thing that all the Sky Blue fans have got to do is just keep looking at the window and seeing who we're going to get and what sort of player and style that we're going to get, and hopefully they'll be a decent player and decent enough to bolster the squad and make us do a little bit better than we may have done without them. Finally, I just want to go on to the topic of Sisu. For those that you don't know, Onyé Igwe of Sisu has gone in the paper and done an interview in the paper, and also been on a live video news report, where the good thing is they've said that there is a problem at the City and it needs to be sorted. So that's one of the good things. It means that they can see that there is a massive problem at the club and are hoping that they can turn it around. I'm not going to say that they are going to. I don't think they will, and yes, I still do kind of want them out. But I do think at the same time Coventry City fans need to back off a little bit. At the end of the day, they're the only club that is running the club at the minute. There is no other offer. There's no one else interested in buying the club, just because the Joe Elliott and Gary Hoffman bid was revoked due to them, due to the investors that they'd got in being involved with Sam Allardyce, who is now taken over as another club in the Premier League as a manager, or Championship. I'm not sure where he's gone. But so that means that we can't, unfortunately, have the same investors try and take over the club, because, as you know, you're only allowed to own one club at a time. So the one thing about Sisu is they have recognised that there is a problem, and they did say that they weren't going to sell players in the transfer window, and they have done that. Every Coventry fan was expecting a fire sale, basically every player wrapped up in bubble wrap, put in a cardboard box and sent off to the nearest club that would have them. But it didn't happen, which I really do think is a good thing with Sisu, and I believe that they should be praised for the fact that they didn't let people go at stupid prices. I mean, yeah, okay, Ben Turner at 700,000 or whatever it was. It's not the greatest amount of money, but at the end of the day, it got us a striker that is better than, and knows the target better than the players that we've got now. So I do think that Sisu deserve a bit of credit for that, and I know that there's going to be a lot of protests at the Derby game, but I personally won't be taking part in them, just because if Sisu go, then what else are we going to have? There is no other club that wants to, or investors, sorry, that want to buy out the club or can buy out the club. So I don't know what everyone else's standpoint on it is. So if you want to leave a comment in the comment section below about anything I've talked about, then please do so. I'd love to hear your comments. I'd love to mention them on next week's show. I'm sure Rob will be back for the next week's show, and he'll give his opinion on what people have said as well. So finally, just before we leave, I want to say a big thank you to the 154 viewers that we got to this point at the moment. It's been fantastic to get 100 views of this show. I wasn't really expecting it to get that many and not do as well as the other videos on my channel, but it has done really well and has actually been the best video that we've got this week. So hopefully you'll enjoy this one. Obviously it is without Rob, so that's going to be a down point because he gives some really good points across. But as I say, he will be back next week. We will sort out a way to get him involved in the commentary. And of course, the Derby game's coming up. It's on TV, it's on Sky Sports, so if you please want to watch it, then please go ahead and do so. Or if you're at the club, then say hi if you see me. So I'll leave you with that thought. And I'd just like to say thank you very much for watching and take care. Cheers, guys.